You can just call me Jay. That's what my friends call me. That's what I go by. I just go by Jay.
I did find a link to this video on Flat Earth's Banyo's channel. I think this is a Spanish guy who was behind the so-called documentary Flatten the Curve. Here you have a testimony from someone claiming to be a former sailor in the US Navy.
First of all, I want to thank you all, members, subscribers, you who watches my video, and all of you who have donated money via PayPal, Super Chats, Super Thanks. Together we have raised a lot of money to Ukraine. More about that in the description. Let's start the video.
My work experience, I joined the Navy when I was 17 years old. I had a secret security clearance. There's different levels of security clearance. There's like a lower level, then there's a secret, which is what I had, which is like a mid-level, and then there's a top secret. I did not have a top secret clearance, so there's a lot that I don't know. But I did have a secret clearance. So it's basically the mid-level security clearance for the government that I had, and I did that job for 8 years. I worked in operational intelligence specifically.
So he thinks that talking about security levels is some kind of proofs, or that he be more credible. What nonsense. Most of what you do as a military is secret. Your security level tells us nothing about you and your experience. There are no function in the US Navy called radar intelligence specialists. Yes, you have ES personnel on bigger ships, but they are working with analyzing intelligence information and so on. They are not trained professionals on using radar.
The radar navigation, there's a limited scope of what we're able to see. Now,
yes, there are limitations because of the radar horizon that we have, because the Earth is a globe, we have a curve. And this is easy to prove on all naval ships or all ships. The radar is mounted as high as possible, for instance on this ship in this image.
Granted, this is 15 or 20 years ago. What I mean by that is, with it being 15 or 20 years ago, the technology nowadays on the new warships, I would imagine, are just off the charts advanced compared to what we had, 20 years ago in the early 2000s when I was doing deployments for the Navy. We're looking at the scope of the radar. Now, this is just going off of the actual screen that we can see. Now, there's 3 different screens. There's the basic radar screen where we have this limited scope where it only goes out like 25 miles, right?
Different radar screens? This is not a professional talking. On a military ship of a bigger size, you have several radar systems with different purposes. Some for looking at the surface of the sea, others to see airplanes. So this so-called screen, what type of radar is it? What's the purpose with the radar? Because 25 miles you can't see a ship on radar on that distance. But if it's a radar that you're looking at planes, it's not a problem. Of course, it depends of the height the plane is flying on. Look at the sinking of Sheffield during the Argentina's war in Falklands against UK, where they sank a ship because they used the radar horizon as a cover.
Right? Then there's this other bigger screen, and I forgot the name of it, but it goes onto this huge projection in the Combat Information Center. Basically is where all of the information is housed. And on this huge screen, we can actually zoom out and see a significant portion of our area of responsibility. I can't say the exact number. Again, a lot of this is classified. Basically, when we zoom out onto this large projectile screen, it goes in and out, right? So the reason why we're able to zoom in and then pull back out is just for accuracy. So if we're looking at something that could just be like a buoy in the water, right? You know, just one of the little tiny buoys that the ships can use as kind of placements to track where they're going, that can be mistaken for an actual like small watercraft. So we have to be able to differentiate between that and some of the ships that we're looking for, because some of the deployments we're on, we're out there looking for drug ships, we're looking for other types of ships, submarines, basically just to keep a track of everything. That's basically what the Navy and Coast Guard do. They want to make sure that they know what's going on in the seas, and that's kind of the way the United States Navy operates. They're basically dictating what happens in international waters.
Ye have never been on a warship. Ye have never used a radar. He don't know anything about radar's navigation or anything related to naval ships.
As we zoom out to look at the larger scope of things, once we verify that, we're able to zoom out over a large distance. Now, over this screen, at the time I was like 18 or 19 years old, all right, when I was doing this job. I wasn't thinking about flat earth and any of this other shit. I was still indoctrinated and under the assumption that the earth is a spinning ball. I never thought about flat earth or anything like that, but I always thought it was weird that as I'm looking at this massive radar screen, I always used to think, how come we're looking at this and I can see, like, we're off of the coast of Argentina, for instance, right? Like, how is it that I can see this far out and it's not like over the horizon or curve, because it's so far? Like I said, we use a lot of these other link signals, and they're called links. They go by different names. I can't say the code names. Some of them I forgot. Some of them are, again, this is classified information. I can't give any specifics on these. But some of the links that we use, not only do we speak to the actual ships and track them, but we speak to aircraft, 10,000, 20,000, 30 and higher, 30,000 feet and higher is what I'm saying. It's not just a matter that they're 30,000 feet directly. It's not like they're directly above the ship. This is what's interesting, is this aircraft could be 50, 60 miles away and 30,000 feet in the air. So you understand, like, the angle that you have to take to be able to track this aircraft from a ship that's moving on the water? Think about that for a second.
And he don't give us any numbers how far he claims they did see. And then he talks about secret links that he can't talk about. In a navy or a military force, you share information, you share your radar screens with other vessels. It can be other ships, it can be airplanes. So that gives you an opportunity to see further than your own radar is capable of seeing. And one more proof that he don't know what he's talking about. It's no problem for a ship tracking a plane that are 50 miles away and 20,000 feet up in the air. They can track a lot of objects at the same time, and to communicate with them, he have no idea how military radio system works.
Let's just say we're like 30 miles away. These missiles can shoot much further than that. I can't give you the exact number, but say we're 30 miles away, okay? 30 miles is far. So from our ship, we can track on our we have like a missile projectile. It's like a radar, but it's a little bit different. It's specifically designed to track the missiles. You and actually input the coordinates, latitude and longitude of where you want the missile to strike. Really, really high precision accuracy. I mean, really really accurate. We hit that launch and the missile, and it will hit that target 30 miles away, even longer than that. Now, here's the thing. Again, that's not possible on a curved Earth. These missiles are huge, 50 caliber projectiles that are carrying massive amounts of explosives in them, okay? Each one of these missiles are probably worth hundreds of thousands of dollars. So whenever you're lining up these missiles to shoot at targets that are 30 plus miles away, if the Earth is spinning, again, now think about this. We're not sitting like on land holding a gun, all right? So picture this. We're on a ship, like actually in the middle of the water, okay? And the missile is shooting off of the bow of the ship. So if the world is a spinning ball and we're on this curved Earth with water and we're spinning 600 miles per hour through infinite space, I'm pretty sure that it would be physically like it wouldn't even make any kind of sense on a physics type level to be able to shoot a missile from a spot in the water on a spinning ball to pinpoint accurately hit another spot.
And once again, Jay proves that he have never been on a naval vessel and have no knowledge. If you fire a ship-to-ship missile and you give it the coordinates as you say, you have no need of tracking it with something that is almost a radar, because the missile is knowing where they're going. They have GPS, they have maps, on so on, and if they know the coordinates when it comes closer, they see the ship. You don't need to guide it. You don't guide it from the ship when you released it. In my latest video about Flat Earth Banjo and his nonsense about the new Russian tanks, I did show why he was so wrong with this image. You send missiles from tank to tank, they are sending them to military facilities, and these are sent without seeing the target, because you can fire those over land without seeing the target. So what's so special with the sea? And the nonsense with the rotation of Earth, 15 degrees per hour, and the atmosphere is rotating too. It's not a factor that makes any problem for a missile.
A waypoint would be like this. Like, let's say we're out in the middle of the water and we want to hit a target that's like directly to our west, 15 miles away. But that target is able to track our missile coming at them. We don't want that target to know where the missile's coming from, so we can put in a waypoint. And a waypoint would be like putting a point out like 20 miles east, and then another point like 15 miles north, and then another point like 10 miles south of that, and then put in our target. You see what I'm saying? So the missile doesn't go directly from the ship to the target. The missile will actually fly to the latitude and longitude of the waypoints that are put in, and then it will curve from there and it will hit all the waypoints and then attack the target. How is that possible on a spinning Earth? If the Earth is moving at 600 something miles per hour or whatever they say it is, there's no way that missile could stay. There's no way that missile would be able to keep track. Do you understand what I'm saying? At least that's how I'm looking at it.
Yes, of course you can put in waypoints and so on, but of some strange reason you didn't comment this illustration in this video. Here you see to the left, launch site, your ship. The red line is the missiles track. It first goes up and down close to the surface, and look to the right, detected by radar. You're using the horizon to hide the missile, so the enemy spot it as late as possible. Once again, look up the sinking of Sheffield during the Falklands War. I made videos about it.
Or there, or understanding and putting in the coordinates or seeing how this actually worked out. But I'm telling you, like, from my perspective, that is one of the things that makes it virtually impossible to accept the globe as this, well, it's a fake lie, it's a theory, it's garbage is what it is.
So, this is a fake sailor, stolen valor. He tried to impress people with his fairy tales about him being a radar operational intelligence person on a ship, and he's obviously, according to himself, expert on radar system and weapon systems, and all he showed in this is that he know nothing, he have no experience at all, he's fake. But who is surprised? That's the usual bullshit from flat earth channels. Okay, that was all I had for you this time. A quite funny fact is, when this video is released, I'm out at sea on a naval ship. I have to look at a big radar to see far. Oh dear. I hope you liked the video. And please, if you want to help Ukraine, see information in the description. When I left home some days ago, we was close to 4,400 euros sent to Ukraine. Have a nice day all. See you soon. Bye.